think we're starting to see some of the more dramatic effects of climate change. I think, frankly, at the moment, we've been quite lucky within Il Finale that the odd combination of vineyard location and therefore the climatic conditions under which they operate, I think we've probably been treated relatively gently. But for example, last year, I mean, 24 was dramatic for everybody. Many farmers who were 100% organic lost very significant portions of their crop because the problems with mildew last year, because of the rains, were just incredible. There were large portions of varieties such as Nebbiolo that never got to the cellar because they could not find the conditions within which they were able to actually pick with any degree of confidence and security and safety. So you've started to see this happen. I mean, we went through, God, it was like watching your wife give birth last year, because we had situations whereby we would have rain one day, and then inevitably you need to give a little bit of time for the grapes to dry off before you start picking. You'd wait a day, you'd wait a day and a half. You'd have everything prepared to go onto the vineyard and start picking. It would start raining again. I mean, I think in the worst example, we had 4 false starts before we were able to get onto the land and pick the grapes. So 24 was abnormal, but I don't want to call that out as now an inevitable part of an ongoing change. Don't misunderstand me. I mean, I'm an absolute believer in climate change, and I'm an absolute believer in the reasons for climate change. Whether we are at this point subjected to that level of complexity in this part of Piemonte perhaps remains to be seen. But it's already very clear, and you can see it frankly by the attitude of some of the more respected and more substantial producers within this region, that they're moving to higher altitudes, they're developing new vineyards, they're already mitigating against events that they anticipate are going to impact them over the next 5, 6, 8 years. We are not of that size, and I think that also there is a challenge. You may argue it's an intellectual challenge rather than perhaps a challenge one would like to embrace, but nevertheless it is a challenge that we are going to have to look at our practices in the vineyard. We're going to have to look at things like canopy management. We're going to have to look at the timing of our picking. We're going to have to look maybe even at the profile of some of our wines, because what we want to always achieve is a representation, a reflection of the land within which those grapes have been grown and the conditions under which they've been grown. I have no desire for us to produce wines that are, how can I put it, a standardized, formulaic flavor profile. You are never going to drink a Tenuta Il Finale wine in 1 year and expect automatically that whole story in the bottle is going to be exactly the same the year after. We will follow all of the challenges that we're given, and we will most importantly follow what the land and what the climate gives us to work with. And for us, that is a fundamental belief in the way that we want to taste wine, that we want to drink wine, that we want to go through the whole experience of wine. So to that extent, no, we've not, I don't think we've hit anything which is fundamental yet, but my goodness, you're beginning to see signs, and they are signs that none of us on a global scale, frankly, can afford to ignore.